Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Jesse here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today, we're gonna check how to play with Tokiko. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So, I already talked about her renewal in the update video, so if you want to check that, you may go there. I'm not gonna dwell on every single change that happened. I'm gonna mention them, so maybe check that video before this one. Now, let's see what Tokiko has to offer. Fuma Tokiko, Assist and Human type. Level 87, as you can see, she's maxed out. Assist and Human are two pretty good traits. I mean, Assist more than Human. Human is supporter to some extent, but it's not like Demon. Demon is the most OP. Then, the skills. Let's check Fuma Tokiko's skills, but we're gonna start first of all with the leader skill. So, she has Precision as the leader skill. Increases critical rate by 0.5% each time you hit an enemy. Stack up to 40 times and lasts 3 seconds per stack. So I finally understand what this means. I thought that the whole thing lasted 3 seconds. But no. You are going to stack, I don't know, let's say 20 precision buffs. And after 3 seconds, you're gonna lose 1 stack and you get 19. And due to how she works, and thanks to the new, I'm gonna call it piercing mechanic that was implemented into her kit, this is actually pretty good. It is not the most busted effect in the game. It's actually very good for newer players. This gives a lot of value for Tokiko as she's gonna deal more damage on early stages because she has extra critical rate. But obviously on VR, this isn't as impressive, especially because it's only a 20% critical rate increase. Yes, she becomes a candidate for using the Momochi weapons, so that you are able to increase your damage. But I don't think that she's good enough to just substitute Bright and Rose, the supporter. That's way better for that strategy. So, even so, it is appreciated, this leader skill, because it facilitates the use of critical rate supporters and not critical rate supporters, critical damage supporters. So yeah, now let's go to those skills, starting with Fuma Martial Art Soaring Swallow. Melee attack, during normal attack, hold attack, then repeat attack. 13 seconds cooldown after lifting the enemy. After lifting the enemy into the air, perform a consecutive attack. 1 green reduces the skill cooldown by 20%. 1 blue increases damage by 25%. 1 red knocks down the enemy hit by falling attack. So this is pretty bad as usual. I mean, I won't blame Gremory. They decided to leave this skill as it is. But I mean, I don't think that Gremory is gonna take action about the fact that these skills are the launching skills are pretty bad due to super armor being a thing. Not anytime soon. And if they do, they will change them all. So yeah, it's okay that this is not the greatest skill. Just ignore it for the most part. Then we have Fuma Martial Art Stone Piercer. Stone Piercer changed a lot in the animation. So it has some synergies with other skills that work better on the previous animation. But this one isn't too bad. So you're going to do a melee attack. It's a dash attack. It's 10-second cooldown. Performs a charging attack that pierces enemies spread across a wide area in front of you. So anything that is in between the area is going to receive damage. It's gonna be melee damage, take that in mind. And then, this works on the main. With main green, increases speed by 20% for 5 seconds. With main blue, activates clairvoyance for 4 seconds. And with main red, stuns the enemy. The AoE stun is kind of appreciated on normal stages. I won't use this, but a big AoE stun doesn't sound that bad. Then, for Clairvoyance, for those who do not know, Clairvoyance, Fuma Tokiko's as a Clairvoyance as a playable character gives you, what was it again? Super armor and damage reduction, if I'm not mistaken, which is nice. But she isn't exactly known as a supportive tank. Yes, she can work as a support, but she doesn't like to be near the enemy actually. So it is kind of counterintuitive to what she does. Then, let's see the next one. Taimanin Art Squall. Range attack, hold evade, 14-second cooldown. Jump on the spot and performs an area attack by throwing kunais in all directions. With 1 blue, activates Clairvoyance for 4 seconds, which is actually fine because you're not gonna get interrupted when you do this skill. Number 2, with 2 blue supporters, performs an additional attack with an explosion. So yeah, it's the explosion that we can see. Oh, actually, we don't. Well, after launching the kunais, they explode. And lastly, we have 3 blue, which are going to increase the critical damage of Tokiko by 250%. This is the best damaging skill that Tokiko has. It was already the best damaging skill she had, and it's still the best damaging skill she has on her kit. So be sure to use her with blue if you want to use her as your main damage dealer. Then, Evil Eye Clairvoyance. This is unfortunate. The name is what's unfortunate. Everything else is perfect on this skill because it doesn't synergize with the new weapon. But other than that, this is pretty good. So, range attack, immediately before enemy attack, dodge, 15-second cooldowns. When doing an extreme dodge lowers the enemy's defense. Lower the defense of all enemies for 6 seconds and automatically attacks by throwing kunais that penetrate the enemy. So, quick parenthesis here. The kunais used to do a long animation, like they would come out of Tokiko and do this, a curve into the air, tracking the enemies. Now they don't. They do track the enemy, but they are launched directly from her body, and they pierce, as you can see. Like all of the animations that used to do that, now they do it this way, and it is pretty good because you're going to be able to hit multiple enemies, thus increasing your stacks of your leader skill. So it's great, and you deal more damage overall because you're healing more enemies and everyone is receiving damage. So that's one thing. Though I like the other animation, it was more appealing. This is more effective gameplay wise, so I see it's fine. Then, for the set effects, 2 green, the target's defense is lowered by another 50%. Pretty strong. With blue, 2 blue, increases the damage of kunai by 50%. I mean, blue is already aggressive and the base effect is really strong, so increasing your damage is fine, definitely. It is a good effect. Lastly, 2 red, increase the duration by 50%. Considering that this skill has a long cooldown, it's actually not that bad of an effect. So yeah, I like all of this. Like, this is one of the best skills for Tokiko to use. But as I mentioned, unfortunately, the name doesn't pair well with one of the weapons, because it activates some effects depending on the name of the skills. Now, let's go to the pure green skill. This is going to be a melee attack. It's Fuma Martial Art Smashing Spree. Melee attack, hold attack, 14-second cooldowns, perform a rapid consecutive melee attack. Reduces the speed of attacked enemies by 10%, which it's kind of awkward because this is a damaging skill. Well, I'll finish and then I'll make my comments. Add 5 additional attacks with 2 green and increases damage by 150% and gains super armor while attacking. So this is what is weird about this skill. Like all of the effects changed. The animation changed. Like this used to give speed increase. It doubled the number of attacks, and it didn't give super armor. Now it gives you super armor. The speed reduction doesn't pair well if you are already going to take the hits and they are not going to do anything to you because you have super armor. So why add speed reduction? I don't know. I don't know. And it doesn't say the duration, oddly enough. I'll assume that it's for the duration of the skill. Or maybe 10 seconds. Grammar forgot to add that. Well, in any case, the 5 additional attacks are pretty good. Previously, it was double the amount of hits, but the issue with it is that it lasted too long. You didn't have super armor. You were locked in place and you would hit. Well, you did have an amount of super armor, and for the most part, you wouldn't get interrupted. But some strong hits would take you out of it. Also, the cooldown was way longer than this. It was like 22 seconds. So there were a ton of disadvantages to this skill, but now it's usable. The speed of the animation looks as fast as what it used to be. So even if it doesn't have the speed increase that it had before, it's kind of the same speed, so it's not an issue. So yeah, this is really strong. But unfortunately, if you use this, you kind of want to use the new weapon if you're solo or have a healer, because Tokiko doesn't have healing. So keep that in mind. Then, Taimanin Art Blast. Blast changed a lot. This is a range attack. Double dash, 12-second cooldown, throw an explosive kunai at up to 3 enemies nearby. Throws 2 more explosive kunais when a set effect is applied. So these used to be mines. Now they are explosive kunais that are thrown at the enemy. While I wasn't angry at the mines. They did come with a bit of disadvantages. They were good for bulky enemies, but not for anything that wouldn't move or was not as bulky, because not all the mines would activate. This is an attack that launches, as it says, 3 or 5 kunais depending on the number of enemies. Actually, it depends always on the number of enemies. If there's only one enemy, you're launching 1 kunai. If there are 2 kunais. If there are 3 kunais. If you have the set effect and there are more, well, you're launching up to 5 kunais. Because you don't have to be in front of the enemy. The kunais actually, I have seen this. I did a run. If I'm not mistaken, if my mind doesn't play tricks with me, I was surrounded by enemy. I did the skill, and the kunais were thrown in a star shape, like 1 to the top, 1 to the side, another 1 to the side, and 2 to the bottom left and right side. So it was pretty funny, but it allowed me to understand how the skill worked. And I think it's pretty okay that it auto-tracks the enemies. Unfortunate that you're only going to launch 1 per enemy, but still pretty useful. And besides, the explosion gives a big AoE, which is, well, not like the biggest, but a good enough AoE to apply the effects. So, it says 3 green. As you can see, this is the skill that works with with pure sets. And it says, with 3 green, reduces enemies' defense by 30% for 10 seconds. Long duration and big number. I love those combinations. They are amazing. And this is definitely worth it. She's already a really good debuffer thanks to clairvoyance, but this makes her really aggressive. Then, 3 blue. Decreases the target's speed by 20% for 10 seconds. Also amazing. Big number, not as big as the other one, but still big, and long duration. Lastly, 3 red. Knock the target up into the air. I mean, it's a thing if you want to PvP, I guess. Then, we have Taimanin art Magpie. I guess that's how you say it. So it's it's a range attack, yes, but how does this work? It says switches normal attacks into ranged attacks by throwing kunais. So I think that it doesn't say this one here, but the last kunais, no, all of them actually, have piercing capabilities, just like the other kunais, like clairvoyance. Right now we only have seen clairvoyance, but it is the same kind of effect, okay? Which is pretty good. Then, with one supporter increases speed by 5%, with two supporters increases speed by an additional 10%, and with three supporters increase particle charge by 50%. So this one is actually one of the best basic enhancers in the game because it changes how this character plays, similar to Asuka. It is not the same to play ranged than playing melee. So you're gonna do different combos and different strategies depending if you decide to go melee or not. Or sometimes, depending on your build, you can't afford to use this because you want to use the other skills. So it is a good skill. Let's see. Taimanin art Fang. Range attack, hold attack, 12-second cooldowns. Perform a range attack by throwing 5 kunais forward that pierce the enemy. So, yes, that's the word that they need to use. I think that when on the newsletter, let's see. Yeah, here they do. They say penetrate, and that's not exactly the best word to use. They should have used pierce like here, because that's what's happening. They are piercing through the enemies and attacking everyone else. If it says penetrate, you're gonna get confused with the effect penetration that ignores damage. So that was not the wisest thing when writing the effects, but keep that in mind. It's a piercing effect. So, what are the set effects? With one red, reduce the enemy's damage dealt, their attack by 10% for 10 seconds. I mean, it is not that impressive, but as a debuffer, it is usable. Trust me. The red debuffer, is one of the two strongest ways to debuff the enemies with this character. The other one is green. Green is definitely the strongest because you saw those damage reductions. No, the defense reductions. Then, with 2 red, throws all kunais at the nearest enemies. As I mentioned, the kunais used to do this curved animation, but now they're thrown straight to the enemy. And this is gonna be super funny because when there's multiple enemies, what's going to happen is that all the kunais are gonna be it seems like she shoots a laser beam while tracking the enemy, but in fact it's more like they are doing a curve, because once they hit that enemy, the kunais are gonna be split into different directions and they're gonna hit everything behind, and it's really effective. I love what they did with that attack. It's excellent for clearing waves, actually. So yeah. Then, the third effect increases critical rate by 50%. Yeah, not like the most important thing. It's usable as always, especially on red, but not a big deal. Then, we have Taimanin art Hummingbird. Okay, that's a range attack. Immediately after attack, dash, 3-second cooldowns. Immediately after the attack, creates distance and performs a range attack by throwing kunais that penetrate the enemy, that pierce the enemy. Once again, this is not the best word considering that we have the penetration effect in game. So, with 2 green, decreases the target's speed by 20% for 10 seconds. Decent debuff, good number, good duration. And the speed reduction is usable for sure. 2 blue, reduces damage taken by 25% for 10 seconds. While I like the number and the duration, and also the effect itself, it doesn't synergize with Tokiko. I mean, she's not gonna tank attacks for the most part. Like, no, she's always moving. She's always launching skills that have a certain amount of AoE distance range. Like the only skill that goes like full melee. I mean, ignoring Soaring Swallow, is gonna be Smashing Spree. Everything else is like get distance. Oh yeah, and this one, but so it is not the greatest effect to have the damage reduction. Even so, it's usable for sure. Then, 2 red, stun the target. I mean, it's fine, I guess. It's good for PvP. I mean, red always, one color always gets the short end of the stick and ends up being more focused on PvP. So, let's see the next one. Fuma Martial Art Autumn Wind. Melee attack, immediately after attack, dash, 3-second cooldown. Immediately after the attack, rush forwards and deals additional hits by performing melee attacks. So yeah, it is pretty fast. It does a ton of hits. You could actually use this with any kind of multi-hit effects, like let's say Inagenatsu's effect. As long as it's not limited to basics. I don't remember if Inage's effect is limited to basic, but for example, White Floor Asuka can do wonders with this. So yeah. Then the set effects. 2 green, increases speed by 10% for 7 seconds. 2 blue, activates clairvoyance for 4 seconds. And 2 red, increase critical rate by 50%. So yeah, not the greatest effects. Like, they're usable for sure. A little bit of a speed increase with a medium speed duration, more than 5 seconds. I'm glad about that. It's not 10, it's not a long duration, but considering that this is 3-second cooldown, I think it's balanced enough. Then the activation of clairvoyance is not like super impactful, but it's fine. Especially because you are going to last a couple seconds hitting the enemy and they might do the same to you. And that's gonna allow you to not be interrupted and also reduce a little bit the damage. So yeah, these are Tokiko's skills. So we're gonna do, I mean, this has been already pretty long. I mean, it always happens with renewals, but let's see what we're gonna do. So before we even start, I'm gonna show you very quickly the stat training and the customs. Right now I'm only missing a couple skins, some limited and the rivalry skin, the crafting skin. So yeah. So we're gonna be using first of all Narakusan. Okay, that sounds terrible, but let's see. So this weapon is pretty old and people actually like this one, and I do like it. It is one of those few weapons which actually has a very competent active, so be sure to use it. So it says normal attacks increase damage dealt to target by 6% for 5 seconds, stack up to 4 times. So basically, whenever you use this, you want to use your basics. It is pretty good, and it pairs super well with the basic enhancer. So you're gonna see why. Then the active performs jumping attack that deals damage and makes the enemy in the area groggy. I mean, what really matters about this is the damage. As you can see, it's a pretty nice amount of damage. So we're gonna be using this one, 5 out of 5 plus 10. Yeah, it's 5 out of 5, right? And this one is 4 out of 5 plus 15. These are gonna be critical Magatamas, only water element, 2 water element, and whatever Magatamas. Then for skills, we're using Taimanin Art, Magpie, because we want to increase the particle charge so that we can use the active, and because we want to be ranged to get advantage of that damage increase. We're also going to get clairvoyance so that we can reduce the defense of the enemy even further. And Fuma martial art stone pierce to increase my speed so that I can attack faster and I can in turn charge my particles faster with the basic enhancer. And of course we're using the holy trinity of weapons, weapon actives, Maika, Hikage, and Ingrid. I mean, there's other options, but these are kind of the best. Like, if you don't have some of them, because you preferably want particle charge increase, but you can use Uzuki. You can also use, where is the other one? This one, Koro. So those are options in case you want to. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, these are basically going on green. Fortunately, the effects are better on green. So let's test it. This is gonna be pretty fun. Let's see. So the first thing that we need to do is to charge. So for that, I do dash attack and look at that. Look at the damage. And then I get close and kaput. I eliminate them. I destroy them. They cannot withstand my power. And I already have 40 stacks. I'm gonna leave the animation so that we can see what happens after an animation with those stacks. So I had 40 and now I have 36, 35. So keep that in mind. And kaput. You see, it is super fun. A couple things to notice is that you are gonna be extremely weak in the HP recovery department. You don't have any, so keep that in mind. It's gonna be awful if you get hit, so you want to be kind of very proficient at how you evade the enemy's attacks. Okay, like that, and don't move. There. Nice. No. Woo. Okay, pretty good. Nice. Look at that, guys. It's amazing. It's great. I love it. Perfect. As long as we're able to evade most of Edwin's attacks, I'm gonna have no trouble at dealing with him. Hey, stop. Right there. Preferably you do the right combo, which is do basics, evade, and then use the active. But not always are you gonna be able to do so, depending on the attack pattern of the enemy. Perfect, and done. Oh, come on. Really? Well, as you can see, the kunais are piercing Edwin, which is pretty good. And we start by evading and then using the active. And I use the active again. And I use the active again. And I use the active of the supporter. And I use the active. And unfortunately, Edwin is hitting me. And I use the active. When I say hitting me, I mean hitting me with the attack that recovers his HP. Okay, nice. Only Edwin. You see why this is effective? This weapon has always been pretty good, but I think that it's way easier to play with Tokiko now as an attacker with the enhancements they did. Like, they did like few things to her. Like, they mainly give her penetration. They also changed the animation of the dash attack. And that's kind of all that she needed. Like, well, technically I think that they should have changed the awakening skill, because it used to pair like way better with let me just it used to pair better with the previous dash attack. Now it doesn't pair as well with this new dash attack. But still, it's still usable with other skills. So yeah, you see, this one is super fun to use. If you have that weapon, do not disregard it. Is one of my favorites. And now, this is obviously a mixed build because it is a weapon active build. Those are kind of rare. So let's start with her limited set, her limited character set. So we have Aurora. Aurora changes the way Taimanin Art Fangs works because it says when using Taimanin Art Fang has, let's say that I have it maxed out, a 100% chance to double the number of kunais and changes its forms. Enemies hit by the transformed kunais have increased damage taken by 6% for 4 seconds and it stack up to 5 times, which means that it's going to be a 30% damage increase. And I know what you're thinking, but you have to hit it 5 times. No. Because if we check the skill, you're going to see what this does. You're going to launch 5 kunais and they have the tracking capability. So they are going to hit the same enemy and they're going to inflict that damage increase. And now that they have penetration, they're also going to hit whatever is behind that enemy. Yeah, it's pretty good. So obviously we're using Fan. We're also using Clairvoyance to further reduce the defense of the enemy. And I'm using the basic enhancer. Why? Because we don't want to get near the enemy. Even on BR, because you can use this on BR, you don't want Tokiko to go melee for the most part. There are exceptions perhaps, but I do recommend that in most situations you have the basic enhancer. Unless you want to give up that for skills. For supporters, we're going to use Kalilim, Kirara, and Susune. If you don't have these, go for something that increases damage overall, not like specialized damage. For example, Stella is great because it's going to enhance both basic enhancer and skills, while Yukina is only going to enhance your skills and you have the basic enhancer, so you're not taking as much advantage as you could. Keep that in mind. For this, we're gonna use the Aurora. I already mentioned that. I kind of forgot. So let's see. Yeah, because I knew that I changed the weapons, but I forgot that I already explained it. So very quickly. Hold attack and look at that. It hit the enemies behind. So you want to position yourself properly to take advantage of this. And the penetration is really amazing. Yeah, I really like how they managed the leader skill. Because if I had lost the 40 stacks just because 3 seconds passed, then I would have been pissed. But instead, they make it like a kind of perma buff, which works pretty well. Okay, I'm gonna use the ultimate just to eliminate everyone. And that's something that you may have noticed right now. It's pretty good. While launching the ultimate, you're still launching the kunais from your skills, from some of your skills, like the perfect dodge, clairvoyance, you know, evil like clairvoyance. So you keep dealing damage when the enemy is unable to do anything. That's pretty funny. Oh, really? I was waiting for the enemy and I was like, well, it's not doing anything, so I'm gonna launch the skill. And then it does that. Huh. Nice. Look at the damage, guys. Whew. Yeah, it's a pretty good weapon. Because it enables the red as a very aggressive debuffer. Almost as aggressive as green. But green is just unparalleled. It's Really, really strong. I'm gonna show you the debuffing build because I have an attacker build, but the debuffer build is just too much fun. Okay, there we go. Nice, nice, nice. Look at that, yeah. And if the enemies are close to each other, you're gonna deal even more damage. Because probably both of them are gonna get the the 5 hits. Yeah, nice. I love what they did to Tokiko. This, in my opinion, is still a character that requires no, now it doesn't. Now it doesn't. It doesn't require as much investment as she used to, thanks to the critical rate. It's gonna help out newer players at the very beginning. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go. Oh, the mixed one. No, no, no. The mixed one, we're gonna keep it for later. So let's go with pure green. For pure green, we're gonna be using the weapon. I roll and I got 1 copy after hitting PD. And I'm gonna use. I still have the ticket, but I think I'm gonna use it for something else. So this is 3 out of 5 plus 10. So we already know the effect. We have seen it. Let me check. Fuma martial art and Taimanin art. I think that I have 1-on-1 in this set. Yeah, because I'm using clairvoyance. 1 Fuma martial art, 1 Taimanin art. So there's different combos that you can do, because preferably according to the weapon, what you want to do is first use a Taimanin art, then a Fuma martial art, then a Taimanin art, Fuma martial art. But if you want to start with the Fuma martial art, let's see. No, you want to leave it to the end. This one at least. There are other ones that you may want to use first, like Stone Piercer. But this one you want to leave at the end of the combo. So what do we have here? We obviously have Clairvoyance to reduce the defense of the enemy. We have Blast to reduce the defense of the enemy. And once you use both of them, you're going to be using Smashing Spree. Let me check. Duration 10 seconds, duration 6 seconds. So you use Blast, Clairvoyance, considering that the enemy has super armor, and then you're gonna be able to use this one and deal a massive amount of damage. So I'm using Kawaru, I'm using Nano, and you can equip whatever you want that gives you more damage, but in this case I'm using Spinel because now Tokiko is a great candidate for using supporters that benefit on buffs like Spinel, which is going to increase my speed. So let's test it very quickly. Wait, what was the other weapon? It's the other one. It's the. This is plus 10, but 5 out of 5. So yeah. Let's see. So I already mentioned the combo. First you do, if I'm not mistaken, double dash, then evade and attack. And then hold attack, and look at that damage. Deleting everything very quickly. Pretty good. Pretty nice. So yeah, nice, nice, nice. Okay, it's working, it's magic. The only unfortunate thing is the cooldown, as you can see. Like, they are kind of long on all these skills. But other than that, everything is pretty fine. Oh, really? Come on, clairvoyance. I am confused also. Having the mic in the middle of this is kind of difficult. But, I mean, I cannot put it in another place due to how my room is organized. There we go. Nice. So let's see. And we can see the damage increase I'm gonna use it right now, like that. Perfect. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Can I? Yep. There we go. Yeah. In Tokiko's case, I think that Tokiko is a very special case. Like, you get a ton of benefit from leaving the ultimate animation, but Tokiko gets more benefit from skipping the ultimate animation. You don't care about the cooldowns, you care about using those extra attacks while the enemy is unable to move and doesn't have invincibility frames. It is pretty nice. Let's see. Then, let's go with... oh yeah, this one. This one is a form of debuffing with a couple limited supporters. I think only one. I'll see. So we are going with Aurora, the limited weapon, and with Naraku-san on the sub slot. Let's see. We're using obviously Eye of Clairvoyance to reduce defense, Fang to reduce defense, and the basic enhancer to gain distance. For supporters, we have Susune to increase the damage. We also have the Indomitable Fuma Tokiko, which, depending on what you want to do, you can change it. In this case, I'm gonna leave it Susune on the main because this is solo content and I want the HP recovery. But if you're doing VR, you can change the position so that you increase the damage from range attacks. So yeah, that's fine. And we have Lina here to make my skills more spammable so that I can abuse those debuffs. This is a pretty decent combo. We don't get that much benefit from having 3 red on Fang, but it could be worth it on solo content. But on VR, like, this is a way better combination. So let's go with it. So for this one, we're gonna be evading and then holding attack, and that's it. But preferably you position yourself right, unlike myself. And I forgot that this was a healing skill. Well, in any case, like that, perfect. And also the fact that we are putting a snare onto the main is pretty good considering that we use range attacks on the basics. Look at that, demolishing the stage. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And thanks to the speed reduction, even though it's not like the most impressive thing in the world, it still helps out to control the enemy a little bit so that they don't get close to us. Oops, wrong direction. Let's go with this one. And nice. I will. I mean, it's gonna take some time to beat Edwin, either way, so... I can just charge a little bit more. And besides, I have no problems with the waves of enemies now. Like, Tokiko has become pretty competent at dealing with waves of enemies. She used to be, like, not as good because she lacked the piercing effect. Now that she does, she just delete them pretty easily. I still wouldn't compare her, no, maybe a little, with someone like Maika or what's the other one? Aina. I mean, she's good. I need to test her more to accurately gauge how good she is. Okay, I'm gonna move now. And yeah, I love doing this. The amount of debuffs and utility that I get allow me to just shred the enemy without effort. Ultimate. There. Okay, only Ingrid. There, nice. Perfect, there we go. So as you can see, Tokiko, they did really small changes. Like, I know, if you check her effects, they did a bunch of changes. It's not that, like, they are... the thing is that the main change that they did is that her kunais now have a piercing effect. They did a bunch of other significant changes to the effects. They also changed a lot of this skill. It's still the same essence, but now it's effective. And it's not a burden, which is great. So, yeah, I like what they did to Tokiko. But we are not done yet, guys! Let me just show you a couple more builds. So, let's go with the other blue. For the other blue, I think that I'm gonna use... Let me check. This one. The only difference... did I already show you blue? I haven't shown you blue. Have I? No, I haven't. I swear. Like, let me check. We checked this one, the red one. We checked this. We checked this. The one with Spinel. We haven't checked the blue one. Well, good thing that I leave it to this spot, because then we're gonna adjust the equipment. So I'm using this. This is just gonna be a bit stick. For the most part, you can change it for whatever weapon you want. So what are we going to do? We're gonna use Fuma Martial Art Stone Pierce, just cause. That's the only reason. Like, you can change this for whatever you want. We're gonna use Squall because it's the best damaging skill Tokiko has. And Clairvoyance. Clairvoyance we have on most sets because the effect is really strong. These ones, I don't use that much. I do have like one build for each, I think. But they aren't that impressive, to say the truth. You could also use Blast if you want instead of Stone Pierce. Or you could use the basic enhancer, depending on what you want. Like, Stone Pierce is like the free slot that you have. These are the other skills that you want to use. So, we're using Inagenatsu because you're going to buff yourself and you're also going to debuff the enemy thanks to the perfect dodge. Then we're using Felicia and we're using Aneros. If you don't have that, then it's going to be a little bit more restrictive, but you always have the option of using the classic Reina Kaito for your range attacks. You can use the big three as always, and soon you will be able to do so for those who do not have Onigumo. You can also use Arabella on VR. I mean, there's options available depending on what you want to tackle. So yeah, the skills, the weapon, everything. Well, let's go. This is pretty simple. You just basically evade and then just hold evade, and that's it. Evade, hold evade, I'm kaput. You see? You see that? The damage is insane. I really like it. And I like what they did to Tokiko's basic enhancers. Not basic enhancer, basic attacks. Like, the base basic attack is now different. Or maybe it isn't. Like, I didn't used to play that much with her to begin with, but I think it is. Now it teleports her. I don't remember, guys. Let me know in the comments if you know. Yeah, like, there are no more enemies. Did I delete them in just one skill? Let's see. Come on. Uh-huh. Nice. That's what I wanted. Perfect. Look at the damage. That's why I say this is the best damaging set. Blue is just amazing. It has always been great, but increasing the AoE is really significant. Wow! One combo and Edwin is gone. You see? So, one more time. Kaput! The stage is done. Yes. Yeah, blue is disgustingly OP. And with the extended range, it's gonna clear stages easily. So, let's change this a little bit. So first let's change the custom. And we're gonna use Maid. For supporters, we're gonna change the position within Nagenatsu and change her for, guess who? Yes, it's Asagi. It is an excellent filler. If you don't have anything, like just getting Asagi, it's fine. Especially if you don't have anything to take advantage of the main, like the main is not that bad. Let's see. For skills, we're gonna use... Let me check. We do use a Squall. Taimanin Art Blast. This one. And if I'm not mistaken, Autumn Wind. Okay. So yeah, because I wanted to show you Autumn Wind. Though it is not my favorite. If you like it, do so. Use it. It is fine. And I didn't check the weapon. I'll keep the same weapon. But let me check. In this case in particular, I'm not gonna do it, but in this case, you can use Fomorring Edge. I don't know how to say that word. You can use the renewal weapon. Because all three skills are either Fuma Art, Fuma Martial Art, or Taimanin Art, if I'm not mistaken. Taimanin, and Fuma. Yep. So it works perfectly with the weapon. So, oops, sorry about that. Like, it's a little bit cramped in here. So there we go. Evade, double evade, and evade. There. Yeah, it is not as strong. I know the defense reduction is just unparalleled. But yeah. Wow, 3 million damage. Let's see. And there we go. And nice, perfect. Hey, stop moving. Okay, nice. Oh, no. No! Damn it. Okay. You see, it's not as strong, definitely. But if you want to use these skills, it is an option. Okay, there we go. And to say the truth, preferably you do not use the follow-ups attacks, both the one I'm using now and the other one, on your builds, unless you have the fourth slot. In that case, you can. Where are you? There. I don't know why, but my computer is lagging right now. I don't know if you can see it. But that's not normal. I gotta check what's happening. I'm gonna use the ultimate. There we go. Nice. Nice. We're almost done. I think. Let's see. One. Yeah, only one. So for the next one, we're gonna use this one. And it's gonna be green. Debuffer green. The true menace. So we're gonna use this and this. And also this. Yeah, 1 seasonal and 2 limited supporters. So this is pretty difficult to pull off, but if you have them, then you can take advantage of this. This combination is going to be deadly. If you don't have them, you can do different things. You can reduce the damage taken or increase damage dealt. That would be fine. If there's other F2P options that inflict some kind of debuff onto the enemy, that would be really good. Keep that in mind. For skills, we're going to be using Hummingbird, Blast. Let me check. It's Blast. Yeah, it's Blast and Clairvoyance. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. So Clairvoyance reduces the defense of the enemy. Blast reduces the defense of the enemy. Hummingbird reduces the speed of the enemy. And we have speed reduction, damage increase, and critical damage increase, and critical rate increase, and also Heavy is going to poison the enemy. So yeah, this is a deadly combo. Maybe it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it certainly made this run really, really easy when I tested it. So it's all going to be a baits. So there. Unfortunately, I don't have the basic enhancer. If I could, I would add the basic enhancer. But even so, it's just great. 1, 2. And there we go. Nice. Done, done, done. So I get close to the enemy. And then I use the active. It is pretty hilarious how I just destroy them. Because of how oppressive all the debuffs are onto the enemy. Where are you, Edwin? Don't move. Aha. There, perfect. Nice, nice, nice. It's a little bit difficult for me to do the combo. I don't know how the basic attacks, melee basic attack combo is. That's why I'm not timing it properly. So keep that in mind. Where are you? There. And I do double dash and dash. And yeah, Edwin hasn't done that much damage to me. Pretty fun, and now I'm getting away. Why? And one more, one more. You can do it. There we go. Excellent. Okay, nice, nice, nice. I'll try to do the combo again because I didn't do it properly. 1. Well, I'll do it here. Use the active and also use the ultimate. And they're probably done for. There, perfect. Nice, Ingrid is done. Yeah, mostly just evade, evade, and evade. Whenever the super armor is down. Oh, Ingrid is alive. Whenever the super armor is down, you can do the basics. And There, done. Perfect. So let's just finish with this. So very quickly, let's evaluate her weapons. For that, I mean, I think I have them all, but even so, let's go to the weapon section and we put Tokiko, 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 Tokiko. So she has more weapons than I expected. So let's see. Normal attacks, nope. And skill damage increase, nope. Oh, it looks nice, but it's the package weapon, which is pretty bad because of the lower stats and only getting one copy. The Sakura weapon, which is pretty nice looking, I'll admit. Then Naraku-san. Naraku-san is gonna be very, very good if you have the right supporters to do a weapon active build. If not, it's usable because you get a free defense reduction or damage increase. Yeah, damage increase onto the enemy. And you want to use the combo of basic attacks with this weapon. So yeah, it's fine. It's not busted, it's fine. The PvP weapons, of course. The Momochi weapon. The Momochi weapon has increased value specifically with Tokiko thanks to her innate critical rate increase. It is pretty good, so be sure to use it. Then, the Wicked Star Taimanin Kunai. Taima Kunai. So, now that Tokiko is a little bit better as an attacker, you can use it, but I'll admit, like, specifically for Mass Taimanin and Worm Knight, you don't get that much value of using Tokiko as an attacker. You want to use Tokiko as an attacker when there are multiple enemies and mobs. Otherwise, it's like, and yes, I know there's 2 enemies. There's maybe 5 enemies, depending on which moment of the battle you are. Like 2 with Worm Knight and up to 5 with Mass Taimanin with the clones. But even so, it's not like the best option. The super armor weapon that it's usable for sure. This one, Aurora. If you want to use Tokiko, you want to get this weapon so that you enable her debuffing roll on red. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it's not required, it's not necessary, but it's nice to use. I'll admit that much, because not only is she debuffing, but also she's dealing a significant amount of damage. Like, significant enough in my opinion. So it's like being debuffer while being also an attacker. Then we have the snake weapon. Oof. I don't know how effective she can be as an ulti-spam character. For weapon active, I wouldn't recommend it, because she's already pretty good at clearing waves, as you saw. And this gives you an active that makes a sludge wave that deals with waves of enemies. But I don't know. I don't think this one is good, but I'll have to test it. Actually, I have it 5 out of 5, so I can. This one. It's good, but it has its disadvantages to some degree. Mainly the fact that you want to use skills with these names, and Clairvoyance isn't one of those. Like the one that reduces the defense of the enemy, the perfect dodge. So, and that's a skill that you always want to use, so it's unfortunate. Everything else is pretty strong. The HP recovery, the attack, the skill damage increase, everything is fine. And especially the critical rate increase, the critical damage increase on a UR weapon. It is pretty strong. If you want to roll for this, sure, go for it. Especially if you want to use Tokiko as a damage dealer. And that's about it, guys. So, what do I think about Tokiko after her renewal, if I can find her? So, Tokiko has become way better than she used to be. I do recommend her. I do think that people should use her. She can be a great damage dealer on Bloom, but a big part of her damage comes from the fact that she is dealing a critical hit thanks to this. So on VR, that's not gonna be her best set. Probably if you have the limited, the best one is gonna be red, so that she can be both attacker and debuffer. Or green, to be a pure debuffer. You do not want to use this on VR. I mean, it is better, but it's still too risky. Unless, with one exception, unless you are using mind control, but I don't think that you want to use Tokiko on a mind control strategy. So, this character is also going to give a ton of value now for newer players because it provides critical on demand, basically. Just cause you're gonna have a ton of critical and you're going to be able to use some of the strongest supporters like Kowaru just by using this character, and you're gonna gain more value from things like the Momochi weapons. So yeah, I like the renewal. I just think that they could have changed Autumn Wind too. Like, they did a ton of major changes, I won't complain, but Autumn Wind, like, it paired better with the previous form of Stone Piercer. Now they don't match as well as they did, so... But there's other ways to use this one, in case you want to. So yeah, what do you think about the renewal? Did you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's not good enough? Do you think it's great? Do you think the weapon is kind of meh, or is it busted? Let me know in the comments, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!